After months of intense fighting, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is now striking a completely different tone on the Gaza Strip. He said that Israel's mission is not to seize or to permanently take control of the Palestinian territory, but he now claims it is to drive Hamas out and to create the groundwork for a peaceful civilian administration.
Well, we don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter, and we don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly. That's not possible with Hamas.
Now, in a statement, Netanyahu has said that the strategy will help free hostages who are still in Hamas's custody and will ensure that Gaza does not pose a threat to Israel in the future. But Netanyahu's position on Gaza has changed at least 3 times this week. First, he floated a plan to completely militarily occupy the Gaza Strip. The IDF warned that this operation could put the hostages' life at risk and a possible humanitarian disaster will unfold if the Israeli military were to go all in on the ground to take over the Gaza Strip. And then he shifted gears and pushed for a full military control, with Israeli security cabinet approving his plan. The plan was to disarm Hamas, free the hostages and to place Gaza City under Israeli security control. Now Netanyahu says that his plan is to get rid of Hamas, lay the foundation for a civilian government and to hand over the administration to Arab forces that are not tied either to Hamas or the Fatah party that is governing in the West Bank. This change of stance comes after his previous proposal had drawn sharp criticism both inside of his country and also from some of his staunchest allies. Currently, Israel claims that it controls nearly 75% of the Gaza territory, and the IDF has avoided entering into the remaining 25% in the belief that the remaining hostages are held there. The remaining 25% is densely populated area that includes places such as the Gaza City and the central refugee camps. The IDF commanders believe that most of the remaining hostages are being held there, and Hamas has issued repeated threats of executing those hostages if its fighters detect Israeli troops closing in. Now, Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid has called the takeover decision as a disaster that will lead to many more disasters, and it will eventually lead to a political collapse. Meanwhile, thousands of Israelis have taken to the streets in Tel Aviv and other cities to protest against the government's decision.
You failed. My matan is still there. Instead of doing the one thing that this government hasn't done, putting a comprehensive deal on the table, to put a comprehensive deal on the table that will bring all 50 of them home together.
Shame! Shame on you! Shame! Shame on you!
Now, alongside the demonstrations in Tel Aviv, the protests have also erupted in other parts of the globe. In the United Kingdom, supporters of the pro-Palestinian group gathered in front of the parliament to show solidarity with the Palestinians. And more than 150 people have been arrested as hundreds of protesters filled the square.
And then I also wonder what kind of Palestinian state will be recognised if Israel still control the borders of somewhere like Gaza, so they can't rebuild, and they can stop food and supplies getting in, even if it is considered a state. It will be called a state in name, but in practice the situation won't have changed at all. So I'm worried it's just an excuse to carry on without anything substantial being changed.
On the ground in the Gaza Strip, the death toll has now crossed the 61,000 mark. Almost the entire population, remember, has been shunted out of their homes, and they're living in these devastating conditions in refugee camps. And Netanyahu has indicated that there's more to come. According to the Gaza's health officials, about 39 Palestinians have been killed in just the last 24 hours. With each passing day, the humanitarian crisis is getting worse in the Gaza Strip. The last line of defense against starvation for Gaza is the loose network of these makeshift charity kitchens that are known as the Taqiyya kitchens that are on the verge of collapse. Daily, thousands of hungry and starving Palestinians congregate near the site, holding empty pots in their hands, hoping to get some food.
I waited 4 days just to treat the wound I got here last time. Yesterday, my shoulder was scalded again, and I still walked away with nothing.
So as the border crossings in Gaza remain shut, Gaza's authorities say that the IDF have been firing at the Palestinian civilians at the border. They've killed at least 21 people in the last 24 hours who were waiting for food aid to arrive. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.